What's going on, everybody? It is Frankie here, and welcome to the 2023 NFL Week 3 predictions. Just keep this in mind right off the top. I am picking 12 of these 16 games in Week 3 because Titans, Browns, Saints, Packers, Panthers, Seahawks, and Steelers, Raiders all involve teams that play tonight, and I want to wait for those games to happen before I make my picks for those games. But let's get that out of the way. Here are the rest of the games for Week 3, and here are my picks for them. We start with the Thursday night game, the New York Giants and the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are 10-point favorites. I really don't know how to feel about this Giants win. I know I should be excited about the win and how they played in the second half, but they had to come back from 21 down against arguably the worst team in the league. That's concerning. The fact that they looked dead in the first half, looked like they didn't know what they were doing. I don't know what changed in the second half. Maybe Dable got control of the play calling, but something flipped there in the second half, and the team they were rolling from there on out. Every drive they had in the second half ended in a score. I think 4 touchdowns and 1 field goal. Daniel Jones looked amazing. He reminded us of how great he can be, and I wish he could be more consistent like that. Maybe if they gave him a better offensive line, that would help. It also hurts that this team doesn't have a pass rush, it seems like, but this was a great second half comeback from the Giants. I was very impressed with that. I just wish they didn't have to have that. Against the Cardinals, you should be able to blow them out, but took them a while to get going, but boy, eventually they figured it out. They won that game. I was happy with that performance. And although I am concerned now, we don't know about Saquon and how bad his ankle injury is going to be. It looks like he's going to miss Thursday night. And if that is, I'm definitely picking the Niners, and I would not be surprised if the line moves up if Saquon is not ready to play for Thursday. I guess it's official now, but we'll see how the line plays throughout the week. The Niners, it's a weird thing about the Niners. I considered this a down game for them, and if this is their version of a down game, then they're going to be just fine all season long. If that was the worst game we've seen Brock Purdy play, then Brock Purdy is going to be fine. They gave up 23 points to the Rams, so there is concern there, but they did score 30, and even though it was an off day for Purdy, his deep ball looked rough at times. The offense still got going, still a lot of points scored from this team, and eventually they found their footing in this game, got the win. We know how dominant this Niners team can be. We know how elite they can be. And I think in this game, against a struggling Giants team, we're going to see all the flaws that the Giants have really exposed in this game. Give me the Niners at home, short week, and without Saquon. Give me the Niners -10 over the Giants. The Atlanta Falcons and the Detroit Lions. The Lions are 4.5-point favorites. A great win for Atlanta here today, in what was, there was all this attention about Jordan Love heading into the game, but the Falcons were able to respond well, scoring 25 points. Bijan Robinson, boy, I'm starting to be a believer in this kid. 124 yards on 19 carries, including 2 great highlight reel runs in the game. He also had 4 catches for 48 yards. Desmond Ridder struggled for 3 quarters, eventually found his footing in the fourth quarter, but if the Falcons want to be able to compete this season, he's got to step up. The Lions, with a Lions loss against the Seahawks, coming back down to earth here in this game. We all had high expectations for this Detroit team after the week 1 win against Kansas City. And we saw a lot of their issues, if they had them, show up in this game. Jared Goff finally threw, I thought Jared Goff had a good game, but he finally threw a pick. The Lions struggled with turnovers in this game. I think 3 turnovers in this game, 2 lost fumbles, and the pick 6 by Goff, which killed them. Giving out 37 points to the Seahawks. A rough one there, 328 total receiving yards. So a struggle of a game for the Lions. In this one, I'm going to take Atlanta on the road. I think Atlanta's defense is going to be able to. That's what's great about Atlanta right now as well, along with the running game, along with Bijan. I think the defense is really going to step up. So in this game, I think the Falcons are going to. I don't know. The Lions might win this one at home. I definitely can see it. But I think the Falcons, if they win, I think it's going to be by a field goal. I think the Falcons cover. It's going to be an entertaining, close game, but Atlanta covers the spread. Give me the Falcons +4.5. The Denver Broncos and the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are 6.5-point favorites. Broncos fans, I'm so sorry. This is cruel now, what is happening with this team. That loss, just first of all, blowing that lead to begin with. And then the Hail Mary, the ridiculous Hail Mary, and then you can't convert that 2-point conversion. And yes, that was pass interference, but whatever, they didn't call it. You shouldn't have been in that position to begin with, so don't complain about it too much. And yes, NFL officials just suck. You just have to deal with that. But that was a brutal loss for Denver in what I think will be a rough season for them going forward. And I don't know why Denver decided to bring Vance Joseph back, but clearly you've seen the first 2 games. I don't think that decision was wise. And then you have Miami pulling off a victory here on Sunday night against the New England Patriots. Tua right now, you can make an argument, is the MVP favorite. I know that Mahomes is going to get all the credit, and I think Kansas City will figure it out. But right now, he's been playing really solid, pulling up big points, big yardage in both games, the first two games. I think Mahomes, Tua should be the favorite here. Another great offensive. He struggled a little bit in the second half, but I think the Dolphins will be just fine, and he will be. And again, he showed up in the first half at least. I think Miami wins this one. Denver just continues to get in their own way. They continue to struggle. I think this season, is really going to show. And Sean Payton, I think most of us have respect for Sean Payton, but there were a lot of years where he underperformed, I feel like, in New Orleans. And I feel like we're going to see a lot of that here in the season. I think some of the flaws of Sean Payton will show off here in this season. I think Denver's got a lot of issues. And I think that will show up here in this game and the rest of the year. I think Miami takes care of this one here at home. Tua, Tyreek Hill will be dynamic as they always are, and the Dolphins win this one going away. Give me the Dolphins -6.5. The Los Angeles Chargers and the Minnesota Vikings. The Chargers are a 1.5 favorite. I saw somebody on Reddit make this comment that said, this is the, if you voluntarily watch this team, get help Super Bowl. That's what this, both of these teams, if you're a fan of them, they must drive you up a wall. And I really struggled about this because both of these teams are coming off terrible losses. Chargers lose to the Titans in overtime. I'm really thinking Brandon Staley has to be the favorite to be the first one gone. It's just, this team is so much worse than they should be. They have the talent. They should be able to step up. But God, their pass defense is atrocious. We've seen that here in the first two games. That's really what's holding this team back. And they should be able to finish better. But when you have Staley as your coach, and we've seen this over and over again. He's just not the guy for this team. But whatever. They're gonna roll with him, and I think Justin Herbert is gonna, and company is just gonna really suffer for it. Terrible loss there today. The Vikings with a brutal loss on Thursday. 4 fumbles. Easily could have won this game against Philadelphia, but just the turnovers over and over and over again. The running game really struggled. 28 running yards on 9 attempts. Kirk Cousins had a solid game there. Justin Jefferson both put up really, really good performances there, but I mean, this was just a classic. Like when I think about why I don't trust Minnesota, it's games like this. It's games like Thursday where I just see all of the things that I really doubt about Minnesota, all the things I have feelings about. I'm just like, I don't know if I can trust this team. They came out in full display and a primetime game, and we know how Kirk Cousins struggles with those. Had to pick somebody to win this game. I'm gonna take the Vikings. I think the Chargers are in free fall here. Minnesota's at home. I'll give the Vikings the edge, but this is not going to be... Again, I feel bad for... It would be fitting if this game ends in a 6-6 tie. We'll see what happens there, but I think the Vikings win this one. I think it'll be ugly. Minnesota wins, and we get closer and closer to Brandon Staley's firing. Give me the Vikings +1.5. The New England Patriots and the New York Jets. The Patriots are 2.5-point favorites. New England, 0-2. Horrible offensive line. If you want to rip Mac Jones... Fine, if you want to say he's not the guy, but both of these teams are relatable in this way. Whether you have concerns about their quarterback, Mac Jones or Zach Wilson, how can you judge them totally when they have this offensive line to deal with? Both their offensive lines are trash. I mean, the Patriots offensive line here in this game, just nothing. Jones got sacked 4 times, and they were playing without Trent Brown, who had a concussion. Just a real struggle in this game for New England. They tried getting something going late, but whatever. Only 17 points. They lose to Miami here. Jets. Zach Wilson, I thought, was fine in the first half, but again, that offensive line is going to be, even if Rodgers was on the Jets, if Rodgers was still here, he'd be struggling. I wouldn't feel like this team would be dominant right now. It's just this offensive line is going to kill him. Okay, and it's going to pour Zach. Again, even if you have doubts about Zach Wilson, and I do too, and I think the Jets probably should try to get somebody else, how can you judge him totally when you have this offensive line to work with? And the secondary for the Jets got killed. I know it's Dallas, but I mean, I know it's CeeDee Lamb, but God, just absolutely destroyed all game long. Thankfully, Garrett Wilson had a fine game. Had a nice touchdown there. By the way, Zach Wilson, if you do want to point to the Zach Wilson sucks camp, if you take away the 68-yard reception for a touchdown that he was 11 for 26 with 102 yards. No touchdowns, 3 picks. But again, when you have this offensive line, it just seems like there should be. But also, Zach Wilson's not that good. So you take that all into consideration. I'm taking New England in this game. Neither of these teams I really feel great about, especially their quarterbacks. Somebody's got to win it on the road. And I think the Patriots offensive line will be slightly less bad than the Jets offensive line. But God, this is going to be a rough one. Give me the Patriots. Bills, Dolphins, just let's just get that AFC East battle because these two teams are going to be battling for the bottom. Give me the Patriots -2.5. The Buffalo Bills and the Washington Commanders. The Bills are 6.5-point favorites. And as everybody expected, the Commanders are 2-0 and the Bills are 1-1. Who would have thought? The Bills, this was a bounce back performance. This is what they needed. Just cruising over the Raiders. Josh Allen, no turnovers today. He looked sensational. He put together touchdown drives of 11 and 15 plays. Really stepped up. The linebackers had a really solid day for Buffalo, just shutting down the Raiders all day long. This is the kind of game they needed to. This is the kind of game that Josh Allen had to sit back and say, hey, like, just a reminder, I'm still Josh Allen. I can still be a great quarterback. I am a great quarterback. I just got to stop turning the damn ball over so much. So this was what he needed. Washington, a crazy, crazy win. That was Sam Howell has really shown me a lot. 299 yards, 2 touchdowns in his third start, first on the road, to come back like that. Defense was making a lot of big plays in this game. The running game is fun, but you have Brian Robinson rushing for 87 yards and 2 touchdowns. Washington looks like I don't buy in Washington long-term, especially in this division, but I think they could be better than a lot of people give them credit for. Not in this game, though. Bills' offense is just too multi-dimensional, too dynamic, too powerful, and I think in this game they will really take that to Washington. Washington, I could see keeping it close first 2-3 quarters, but I think eventually the Bills will pull away. Give me the Bills -6.5. The Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars are 9.5-point favorites. The Texans continued their slog to 0-17. I don't know if they're going to do that, but there's really no reason to believe. I just feel so bad for Texans fans. It's just year after year of crap. Jaguars their defense, I thought, was solid against Kansas City, holding them to 17 points, which, again, when you against Kansas City, you should really take that for what it's worth. Forcing 2 turnovers off of the Chiefs, also getting one on a muff punt, holding Patrick Mahomes out of the end zone in the first half until about a minute remaining. You had the offense, a lot of bad play calling. What were they, 0 for 4 getting a touchdown when they were in the red zone? The offensive line really struggled. Lawrence was pressured on 25% of his dropbacks and was sacked 3 times into the fourth quarter. So there are concerns there with Jacksonville. But again, give him credit, especially on the defensive front, for being able to hold off Kansas City like that. I think in this game, though, this is a much easier opponent than Kansas City. I think Jacksonville will win this one going away as the Texans continue to struggle. I don't think there's going to be anybody that goes 0-17, but I'm not going to be the team that says the Texans or the Jaguars, or I'm sorry, the Texans or the Cardinals are going to win a game. I'm not going to be the one who picks that. That'll happen. I just don't know who. I'm not going to be the one to do it. In this game, Jacksonville wins going away. Give me the Jaguars -9.5. The Indianapolis Colts and the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are 8.5-point favorites. Anthony Richardson, feel so sorry for him. 2 touchdowns today and then gets a concussion. We'll see how he is going into this game. If he's not healthy, then Ravens should definitely win this one going away. Great performance out of Lamar. With all the injuries the Ravens are dealing with, they got like 5-6 guys hurt. Odell ruled out today with an ankle injury. You got Dobbins and Stanley and Marlon Humphreys and Marcus Williams all out. But Lamar just looked fantastic. Really came through late in this game. Was clutch. May have already ended the Bengals season. I know it's early to say that, but I know there's going to be people that say, oh, the Bengals are 0-2. They're going to be out of it. So clutch win for Lamar there. Maybe taking out a division opponent. Great game out of Mark Andrews in his first game back after missing the opener with a quad injury. Gets his first touchdown since week 6 of last year. First touchdown from Lamar since week 6 of last season. That was great there. And I think this was going to be one that the Ravens at home are going to cruise against the Indianapolis Colts. 8.5. I think the spread will definitely go up if Richardson's out. So I'm taking it now. Give me the Ravens -8.5. The Chicago Bears and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are 12.5-point favorites. The Justin Fields era, I think, is going to come to an end soon. He's not good. I try to be patient with him. He's talent, but God, he's way too inconsistent. Kansas City, a win, not a dominant win, not a win where the offense really could have. Their wide receivers have been a big issue here. It was good seeing Kelsey out there, but he wasn't 100% healthy. And they fumbled the ball a lot today. The receivers fumbled the ball 3 times today, losing 2. So if there's going to be anything right now holding Kansas City back, it's going to be their receiving core. You hope that Kelsey will get 100%, and that issue could be taken care of a little bit. You also had a nice game from Poncheo, whatever his name is. I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic. 31 yards from the running back today. 31-yard run that started the touchdown drive to start third quarter. Chris Jones coming in. Limited playing time, but he had 5 pressures, 1 sack, a 1.5 sack, and a batted pass. Good seeing Chris Jones in that game for Kansas City. I think this one at home, Kansas City will roll through Chicago. I think we're going to see vintage Mahomes. We're going to see Travis Kelce. Shout out also to Ian Eagle today, who had the call of the day saying when Travis Kelce scored his touchdown, he found a blank space. Brilliant. Well done. For those that don't get it, Google it. But Kansas City should roll on Sunday against Chicago. I think they will win this one easily. And the team that I still think is probably the best team in the NFL. I know the Niners fans might disagree, but the team I think with all the talent available, I think is still the best team in the NFL. We'll show that off here on Sunday. Give me the Chiefs minus 12.5. The Dallas Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals. The Cowboys are 12.5 point favorites. I hate to say it, Dallas is good, man. That defense is scary, scary good. Still not going to totally believe in them because I've been down this road before with the Cowboys. Get to the NFC Championship game before I start believing in you, but you cannot deny how dominant they are on the defensive side. Great game from CeeDee Lamb, 11 catches for 143 yards. Dak had 2 touchdown passes. Back-to-back games without an interception for Dak. We're seeing the Cowboys really step up here on offense, and again, dropping 30 today showed their against a pretty good Jets defense. That really was something to behold there. Cardinals, if this is their best chance, I think they'll get a win this year, but that was their best chance to get a win. You know, being up 21-0, being up by 21 points at home, it's about your best chance to get a win, but typical Cardinals there. Cowboys should roll in this one. Give me the Cowboys minus 12.5. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Eagles are 6.5 point favorites. Eagles with a win on Thursday night against Minnesota. Great game out of the running backs, particularly DeAndre Swift. The Philly native, a career high 175 yards and a touchdown. This team still looks great. Jalen Hurts still looking like one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I think the Eagles, I was hoping they'd put away Minnesota a little bit better in that game, but nitpicking, it's week 2. They were really solid, and they should win this one. Tampa Bay has been better than I thought they would be, and I think they've really surprised a lot of people. The fact that the Bucs are 2-0 is really surprising. Baker Mayfield has been better than I thought. The pass rush for Tampa Bay has been really solid. They sacked Justin Fields 6 times today. So the red zone offense is bad, though. They were 1 for 4 trips on trips to the red zone. But Baker and Mike Evans seem like they have pretty good chemistry right now. So I will give Tampa Bay credit. They've been better than we thought in the post-Tom Brady era. They've looked okay, but I need to see more. And I think they're going to go up against a real great dominant. But this is not the Bears. They're going up a real great team in Philadelphia, a real complete team in Philadelphia. And I think in this game, I think the Eagles are going to run away with it. Give me the Eagles minus 6.5 on the road. We're going to see Kelce, Swift, and Hurts just destroy the Bucs. Give me the Eagles minus 6.5. And finally, the Los Angeles Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are 6.5 point favorites. The Rams coming off a loss to the Niners earlier today. Without Cooper Kupp, they can only do so much. They did score 22 points. Puka Nacua has been, setting the record for most receptions by a player through his first 2 games. Credit to him for how he's been able to carry so much load without Kupp. He's having to carry quite a burden, and he's been doing well. 20 targets into 15 catches for 147 yards today. Kyren Williams had a nice day for the Rams as well. What do you have? 52 yards and a touchdown, 6 receptions for 48 yards and a touchdown. First Rams player to score through the air and on the ground since week 8 of 2021. It's pretty wild there. But Cincinnati, that's going to be the story here, is how good is Cincinnati going to be? Is Burrow going to be healthy? I have a feeling that, look, I really have concerns here about Cincinnati. That's obvious. If I had to guess right now, I'd say Cincinnati doesn't make the playoffs just because they're 0-2. So I believe in that. I think Burrow is going to be hamstrung with that calf injury all year long. The run defense is just, it's a huge problem with this team. Baltimore gained 178 yards today on the run. And they've struggled with it last week. They struggled with it here again. 200 yards last week against Cleveland, 170 yards here in this game. That is really what's killing this team. And the fact that Burrow is not 100% healthy. I believe that Burrow is still going to be good for the most part this year, but coming out of 0-2, that's going to be so tough. We know Burrow's cool. We know he's confident and all that, but it's a tough thing to climb out of. It's going to be difficult here. But in this game here, I'm still not ready to be sold on the Rams like a lot of other people are. Like I saw commenters say some stupid YouTuber said the Rams are one of the best teams in the NFL. Give me a break. Beat the Bengals and then come talk to me. Bengals are at home. Whether Burrow plays or not, I think he will play. I think they said that he was going to play. I think he will be healthy enough. to play. I think he would have made it if they need him for the final drop. I think he would have been out there today. But regardless, 6.5 at home. What bad calf or not, I think the Bengals are too talented on the offensive side. I think they will carry and win this one here. Whether or not what happens going forward, we don't know. But for this game, for this opportunity, for this time, they will win against the Rams. Give me the Bengals -6.5. That's it for now, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to this channel and you'd like to see, make sure you subscribe down below. I'll be back tomorrow with my predictions for the 4 other games here in week 3. We got Titans and Browns. Ignore the things on the bottom. Saints, Packers, Panthers, Seahawks, and Steelers, Raiders. We'll have all of those predictions for you tomorrow. See you guys then. Take care, and God bless.